Foreplay presented by Barstool Sports. We've got Joel Dahmen. It's Joel Dahmen Day. We've got the Fore Man Scramble against Joel at his home club, Mesa. Oh, God. Here in Arizona.
I am not laughing. I'm not.
It's coming for you guys.
I mean, listen, Riggs has COVID, so and we were all just around each other, and we're all just we're gonna get through this, and we were just talking about it. We don't know for sure. He's gonna get tested later, but I mean, you just heard in that little fucking monologue there, he can barely speak. You actually did very well in the Joel interview. You didn't really. I don't know if you were utilizing the mute button. I bet.
Dude, I was utilizing the mute button, the cough button. I think I said this during the Joel thing, but for those of you out there that are on the Whoop train, I got 9 hours and 11 minutes of sleep last night, 100% sleep, all green. My recovery is 28%, all in the red. And I feel fucking horrible. Just
a little nerve-wracking, too, that your respiratory rate didn't go up. It actually shot down, or your HRV went up, I think.
Yeah, I was confused. Isn't it supposed to be the opposite?
Your respiratory rate's supposed to shoot up like super high because your heart's working extra time. Your lungs are fucking moving in and out, and they're fucking cranking.
Yeah, I thought maybe I had it wrong before, but I saw those, and those were maybe promising. I don't know. I haven't gotten tested yet. So we're recording this on Wednesday, and I'm going to try to sleep. But Tuesday morning, I woke up and I just felt pretty terrible. Taste and smells totally fine, which seems to be the main indicator. A friend who I got beers with on Friday tested positive for COVID and texted me that yesterday. So here I am feeling bad. Don't feel good. Feel a little sick. Got a few symptoms. And then I get that text. I thought maybe I could sleep it off. Maybe I'm dehydrated. I've been pounding water. Went to bed super early last night. Missed the whole gold medal game. Went to bed super early. Woke up sweating and at 28% recovery with 9 hours and 11 minutes of sleep. So I don't think that's good.
Yeah, and we were just saying before we hopped on the podcast here that me and Frankie and everybody who you were with, because we were with each other this weekend filming videos and doing a podcast, there's just dark clouds off in the distance, and I'm just really wondering what my next couple of days are going to look like.
I'm hoping that maybe I'm just immune or immortal to the point because I've been around COVID. It was in my house, and knock on wood, thankfully, and I quarantined during that time. Everyone got through it and is past it, but I just have avoided it. I've gotten tested, I don't know, 10 times throughout this whole thing, and hopefully now, I can't get it. I don't know if it's blood type thing, but Riggs, the thoughts and prayers are with you. It's no fucking joke, man. Like you gotta take your time now, and you gotta actually take it seriously.
So I appreciate that. Thank you. We have Joel Dahmen on the show. We just spoke to him for over an hour. And then tonight, I think 8 p.m., we are putting out the Joel Dahmen Scramble video on YouTube. He's going to be in the chat if you can figure out the technology. And so, yeah, this show is pretty much going to be a full Joel Dahmen episode. Mostly, he just texted me. He's like, which is very friendly. He just texted me. He goes, do you have vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc? So he's clearly worried about helping me out and the things that I need to get. So I'm going to go try to acquire some key
zinc and vitamin D and these little emergency packets.
Those are like the hangover ones?
Yeah, it's just emergency. It's got 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. Throw it in your water. You drink drink one like in the afternoon. It gives you some energy too. And vitamin D. A lot of people with COVID are not getting enough vitamin D. I don't know if it's a combination of it drains you, and then also you're staying inside for most of the time, so you're not getting the sun. You're not experiencing what life is supposed to give you. So it makes you more tired not having vitamin D. And then zinc apparently is like you need zinc with COVID. So yeah. Okay. Joel Dahmen was awesome. I don't know how anyone's going to listen to the show and watch this video tonight and have him not be one of their favorite golfers. I think he is more common man than really you can ever imagine a professional athlete being. You're going to hear stories about him taking clubs off the rack and just using them on the PGA Tour. The fact that he's going to come in the chat most likely on the YouTube page is awesome. For everyone watching, that'll just be like, you'll be able to just like talk to Joel on our YouTube page. That'll be really cool. And yeah, he's got great stories and just a really cool dude, a guy we always say this at Barstool, like I could grab a beer with him or something. Like that's like the barometer. Like Joel Dahmen's the kind of guy you definitely want to grab a beer with.
He's just another one of our guys now. Like Kisner's our guy, been our guy for a while now. Guys who are just super normal, but also happen to be incredibly good at the game of golf. I think Riggs said that Joel is number 64 in the world, which is incredibly impressive, but he's a super normal dude, which you'll see in the interview you're going to listen to here in a little bit and in the video that we're putting out on YouTube.
His is incredibly common, man, but he's also like top 25 golfer at times. Like, and I don't know if that's just because he has the success. Like Kiz, like when like he gets locked in, I feel like or whatever. Like I don't know. Like even when we did the 4 Man Scramble, Kiz like had Dewey with him, and he was like fucking. He wanted to beat us. Like he still got that competitive killer instinct. Like he's a fucking top 25 golfer. Joel is still in that top 100, 64 of all time. But he like you think that he jumped a rope and he like no one knows who he is. Like he's like this errant, just crazy person that just drinks Trulies and is just like happens to be good at golf, but no one said anything. Like, who is this guy? Like, he is so common, man. It hurts. It's great. It's absolutely crazy that he's gotten to where he's gotten with his mentality and his like everything about it. Like you'll watch in the video tonight. He's just a fucking regular dude. Sometimes, dude, in the video, we thought that he was his twin brother. We didn't think it was him. We're like,
saying like David or something.
David.
Yeah. We're like, at some point, he's just going to be like, by the way, I'm not Joel. I'm his twin brother. Because we couldn't believe that guy that we were playing is 64th all time, 64th in the world at golf. Cool.
You'll hear it, and I don't want to spoil too much of the interview, but Rick starts off the interview and like, you're the 64th player in the world. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is. But he says it. He's like, I'm just a fucking regular dude.
He's like, thanks, I guess. Maybe. I don't really know. So yeah, Joel's up. We're going to pretty much do the whole show with him. The Century Tournament of Champions plus I think everyone that made it to Eastlake last year is going on this week. Excited to watch it. Kapalua is on like probably my top 5 or 10 bucket list courses I want to play. Core Crenshaw, stunning, in Maui on the cliffs overlooking the ocean. And then, you get pretty damn good golf because you get stars. You get Bryson's obviously out there, DJ's out there, JT's out there. A bunch of stars are playing. So it's a nice little way to ease into the golf season is this tournament. It's like this every year. And like I said, it's a really cool golf course. They usually go pretty damn low. And they got that 18th hole with the, it's like 600 yards, but it's super downhill. They hit drives like 400 yards and then they rip these draws into that green. It's just really fun to watch. And again, it's a ease into the golf season. So I know we said we were going to do predictions, but I might die. So I need to get off the show. And we did a full hour with Joel Dahmen. So enjoy the interview. Reminder that Owens Mixers, they're with us. And if you would like to get yourself a cocktail, there's no better way to do it. You'd be really a moron, an idiot. You would have no brain if you chose a different way to do it or try to be out there whipping up your own cocktails. You don't know what you're doing. They're not going to be delicious. Owens Mixers makes it super simple. They've got great recipes. You pour them in with ice and your liquor, and you just have an awesome drink. You got a mule, you got transfusions, you got palomas, you got whatever you want. You can whip up with Owens Mixers. They got them on Amazon now. You can order them, get them the next day. They got the transfusion, which is our drink. It's our favorite golf drink. Drink it on the course before you're round, after you're round. Drink it at home while you're thinking about golf. Drink it this weekend while you're watching the tournament. The Barstool Transfusion by Owens. You can get that as well. Go to owensmixers.com. You can find the store locator, and that's going to tell you where you can go pick up Owens, where you can go pick up the transfusion. We did taste testing. We came up with a drink, and it's fucking delicious. So please go get involved. A big thanks to Owens for sponsoring us, supporting us. Go check them out. Okay, that's all I got. Anybody have anything else before we throw it to Joel?
No, I'm excited to watch Kapalua, like you said. JT's the reigning champion there. Dustin Johnson's the favorite going in. It'll be fun. I mean, will Bryson hit like a 600-yard drive? I feel like that's going to be fun to watch. Like, how far can he possibly go? That video came out of him teaching was it Hughes or someone how to just like swing harder, and how cocky and condescending the way he was speaking, being like, no, it's really just reaching up and bringing it in and firing. He was doing all these weird things. Like, dude, it's not that easy to swing 100 and to get 200 and whatever ball speed, whatever they were trying to achieve, 195, whatever. Crazy to watch him play. Those are moon balls over there, so it'll be fun to watch. I got really nothing else. We're gonna be streaming, I guess, I think we're going to try and stream a little bit right before the video tonight on YouTube. So just go on our YouTube page and subscribe. I want to get an update. I think only a couple hundred people, if that, listen to my call to action to go fucking subscribe to our YouTube page. It's that simple. Just like go do it. I don't want to start getting angry, but like I fucking got sent to that fucking seat on that plane. You can go. I'm still thinking about that. 98.4. We got 200 subscribers from that call to action. Can't we
Maybe they're already all subscribed.
Maybe they are. I mean, no. Then we would have so many goddamn subscribers. There's people that are being lazy. I've seen the numbers. I know who's listening to this, and I know who subscribed. There's a lot of you out there that just won't go do it. It's a couple clicks with your thumb. You're scrolling there. You're looking at nude photos, and you're fucking going all crazy on the websites. Like, just go click on that. Go look at us for a second.
Okay, I agree. Go subscribe. Go subscribe to our YouTube page. A quick thing I wanted to note is that Patrick Reed no longer with Nike, and he was rocking G4 stuff. And I saw a lot of people on the internet freaking out about it. You know, we're big G4 guys. We love their shoes. We love their gear. G4 has been with us for years now, and the Gallivanters are literally the best golf shoe ever made by far. And I know for a fact that Patrick Reed does not have a deal with G4. That he bought the gear himself and is just rocking the G4 gear. So again, I saw a bunch of people like freaking out, jumping to conclusions. Shout out to Office Space, jumping to conclusions, Matt. But I saw a bunch of people freaking out about that. Patrick Reed, who is, by the way, the 11th ranked player in the world, so like and a major champion. So I would say it's very much a great endorsement for G4 that Patrick Reed, who clearly has ended his situation with Nike, like bought G4 gear to rock himself and is rocking it at Kapalua this week. So a little Rigsy scoops on that front right there. But yeah, Kapalua, I'm excited. The course is really cool. You see some crazy shots and somebody gets a chance to start the year off with a W. So it'll be fun to watch. Okay. Joel Dahmen's up next. We did like a full hour. It's very casual. We just kind of shoot the shit with him. I think you'll enjoy it. So here's the interview with Joel Dahmen.
How we doing, fellas?
It's a nice little wall.
Yeah, what's going on with your little wall there?
I designed it. I think they're old Windows maybe thingies.
Looks like windows from a church.
Yeah. I think we just took out the plain glass or whatever you call that.
Cool.
Wow, very classy.
Kingdom of Joel.
Yeah, it is your little kingdom.
What are you guys doing?
We're just gonna hop right in. We're doing great. Well, I'm not. I think I have COVID, so I don't think it's great at all.
Like actually?
Yeah, I got 9 hours. So on Whoop, I track my Whoop all the time. I got 9 hours of sleep last night, and I'm at 28% recovery.
Well, it's more about your heart rate, very like the HVR.
Yeah, that's not good either.
Okay, fair. Well, good thing you didn't come over for New Year's.
No, I didn't. Thank God. Anyways, I was looking. You're the 64th ranked player in the world. We did beat you, but that's pretty high. I didn't know you were going to be that high. Actually, I was impressed by
that. Thanks. I think. I mean,
yeah, I didn't know where to go with that either.
Well, didn't you beat up on Kisner, who's like top 30 in the world? So
yeah, I think he's like 25th. So yeah, I don't know. I was a little. Look, if you're right, if we beat Kisner, who's 25th, we should, in theory, be able to beat the 64th ranked player in the world. But I do, in looking at the match, people are going to be able to see this on Thursday. I think Thursday night we're putting it out. But
so a little podcasting thing tonight, then.
Yeah,
okay.
I think it's 8:00 tonight. Is that when we're putting the match out?
Yeah, because Joel, this is how this works. We speak today, but the podcast comes out tomorrow, so we speak as though it's tomorrow. It's a mind fuck.
Frankie cannot wrap his head around that.
No, what a guy to explain it.
All right, we'll just I'll just go a day ahead. I mean, right?
It's that easy.
Yeah, Wednesday never existed.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Joel, are you surprised you're the 64th best player in the world?
I mean, if you think about it, absolutely. Like, I'm just a good Washington. Like, what the hell am I doing being good at golf? Or being, I don't know, that good, I guess. Yeah, it's I mean, if you think about it, if you're top 100 in anything in the world, that's really good.
It's crazy.
It's incredible.
How many people, like, you think of all like the weekend hackers, right? And you think of everybody at the club that you hang out with all the time. It's really weird to think that, but at the same time, I know that it's not my full potential either. So, I mean, I want to be consistently top 50 in the world and, crack that top 30. And I think that would be, I think I could hang out in the top 30 for a while would be my goal.
It is like, think about how many millions of people play golf and look at instructional stuff and go to the range and grind. And you're the 64th best out of like tens of millions of people. That's insane.
Are you guys just pumping me up right now to actually pump you guys up because you guys beat me so?
Yeah, that's correct.
That's exactly it. I was actually thinking about that though with like Jin, and Trent and I were talking about this the other day. Everybody inputs their handicap. Jin does such a bad job of just like kind of like telling you where you sit amongst others. I think it'd be so sweet if they put like the top 1,000 players in Jersey, and I could find myself in the state of New Jersey and compete against others. Because obviously, like the four of us are never going to be in the top 100 of anything in our lives in this world. And so, yeah, all right, we're top 100 podcast. That sounds good.
I hope so.
Like,
God, I hope so.
Yeah.
In terms of golf podcasts.
But yeah, I think they should do a better job of like sharing that information, because it would be cool to look at and like just compete against, if I'm competing against like to be in the top 25,000, that'd be sweet.
Would you want it to be a point system, Lurch, or like, because like, what if you play 1,000 times and I play twice, but I shoot like I have just a lower average or whatever, right? Like how?
Yeah.
Things if you could have like a weekly game, you could have like a monthly thing to see like how much you've improved in a month or how much you've improved in a year. I think you could do a lot of different things with that, which would make it more competitive or more fun. I mean, I think it's a pretty solid idea.
Lurch, do you think you're in the top 1,000 golfers in New Jersey?
Top 1,000? No.
Yeah.
Man,
I mean,
no. Didn't you just shoot career low 71?
Yeah, but that's not going to crack it.
It's not 3-putt anymore. I mean, that would be great, and you could maybe break. But
I appreciate that, Joel.
Yeah,
that's why we are a 4-man scramble. So although did we 3-putt versus you? I think we did. I think as a collective group we took 12 whacks at one hole. Or was that no? That was Pat Perez.
I know we did that against Perez on par 3. We had like a 40-footer and we 3-jacked as a team.
So bad.
That is painful. But I've been there.
Joel, I'm curious. So, we did defeat you. I'm curious how frustrating it must be to play against us because of how bad we are collectively, yet how miraculously we seem to pull it out each time.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with scrambles, right? You only need one good shot out of 4, but realistically, like, you only need like one good shot out of like 12 on a par 4. Like, even if you hit like an average drive, if somebody hits a great second shot inside of like 10, 12 feet, like you guys are probably going to make it. And if you, or, let's say you guys hit a terrible tee or whatever it is, you have 4 chips around the green. Like, you're going to find a way to never make a bogey, especially where we played at Mesa. Unfortunately, I did not play well that day, but I wish I could have gave you a better match. But out there, you guys just aren't going to really make a bogey. It'd be really hard to make a bogey out there, and you're going to make your 6 or 7 birdies just by being 4 guys. But there's definitely times when I was like, all right, you guys are in trouble. I got a good look here. Like, I got him. And then all of a sudden, one of you yahoos makes a putt or hits a great second shot in there, and I'm demoralized once again.
It's a fun scene at Mesa. It's a very fun scene there. I feel like everybody that we met was very into the classic like club, looking for games. They're inviting us to come back for some money games on Wednesdays and Fridays. I feel like that's your kind of club, and you're a perfect fit right there. Yeah,
Mesa's been incredible. I've been home. It's been my home for 3 or 4 years now, and just a great group of guys. I mean, we play 6-sums, 8-sums, drink beer, listen to music, have a great time. So it's no real different than like it is a country club, but it's pretty blue collar and it's pretty darn fun. It's not a desert golf course, so no one's looking for their balls all the time or chasing rattlesnakes through the bushes. So it's just a really fun atmosphere. The head pro Scott Wright's an incredible guy. He's got to be one of the best pros in the country, and just a blue collar attitude out there of play fast, drink and listen to music and have fun. And I think golf is way more fun when it's played like that.
I did like that we really didn't lose any balls, even when I snap hooked one over the little
Oh, you hit it over
the guy came out of the clouds and just threw my ball back.
Oh,
That's right.
watching the live stream, and he came across, and he was on the other side of the canal, like bordering the golf course. He's like, Riggs, got your golf ball. Check it over. That was classic. That was awesome.
Was absurd.
You just can't lose the ball out there at Mesa. So talk me through, we got to talk about the, I don't know what you call it, 10-finger putter grip, baseball grip.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever the hell it is. You start doing this right before, at least the first time I saw it, you were doing it right before you played us. Like your downhill putts, you're playing with Steve Stricker and you're draining putts with this grip. You talk Frankie into it. Frankie now, I think that's the only way he putts. But where's this whole thing come from? What's the theory behind it?
I don't know how. I mean, I'm not a grill grinder, so if I'm on the practice green, like I'll do my drills and stuff. But after that, I get bored pretty quickly. So messed around with it and made a lot of putts, and then I used it in Mexico at Mayakoba on the weekend and did okay with it. And it's kind of just it's off and on for me. I haven't like completely stuck with it, but I used it yesterday and played okay. I think what it does is it allows me to release the putter better with the right hand. So it's going to be the right hand's going down the line. It's a more natural motion of like rolling a ball. And it takes my left wrist out of it. I get a weak left wrist and I struggle with speed, and actually had it on video a couple days ago and it looked pretty darn good. So it may be here to stay. I mean, anything I do putting wise changes week to week, but I think you may be seeing more of it. Split-handed, Happy Gilmore, whatever you want to call it. But I actually had a new putter built that is a little longer and the grip is 2 feet long. So I can actually grip all the way down on it. So it's it's full go.
Yeah, it's a good grip, man. I mean, if there's something about it, feels more natural. It's almost like when you're growing up as a little kid and you're running around with that little hockey stick and you're just smacking things into nets and stuff. It feels more natural for a putting stroke to actually get your hand lower and smack a little ball into a hole, as opposed to way up here and the pendulum and the shoulders and keeping everything. That's so unnatural to me. So when you showed me that, I'm like, holy shit, I can just line this up. It actually helped me with my vision more. I was able to get over the ball more. Exactly. And kind of watch it go down the line.
Directly over the ball and not inside of it more. And so that's another thing that people have said. So I'd be curious if more people actually tried it, especially your average Joe Schmo, if they actually improved a little bit. So
yeah, totally.
Something to definitely look into. I mean, I'm not the first to. I know there's been several tour players that have done it, messed around. I know Natalie Golbus did it for a while on the LPGA, and there's some other ones, but seems to work okay for me.
Are you a tinkerer in general?
I don't tinker with clubs per se, and I guess putting would be the only thing I tinker with. I kind of try everything, and it's I call it honeymooning. I'll grab a new putter or I'll do something else, and you go through a honeymoon phase with it and you make everything and you're like, oh, this is awesome. And then the next week it doesn't work, so you try something else. I think maybe the best players in the world probably just stick to it. I didn't see Tiger changing with his putting in his career. So maybe I should just stick to one thing and figure it out. But for now, it's kind of flavor of the week for me with the putter. But I don't tinker as much else. I keep my clubs around for years and years, and I don't change too much else.
You're not a big equipment junkie?
I don't know. I have there's a metal stick with a thing on the end of it, and they have different lofts, and you swing it and it goes in the air most of the time. That's what I know about golf clubs.
Did I mishear you? Did you buy one of your clubs on eBay or something?
I was just gonna say.
Yeah. Well, so I had a Ping Answer hybrid from 2011, and I had it for 9 years. And this summer, the face finally cracked, and so I struggled. I tried different hybrids. I tried a 7-wood. Nothing worked. Finally, Gino, my caddy, had ordered a backup off of eBay before, but just didn't quite work. So he bought 2 more this summer. I guess it would be September. And one of them worked. It still has a pre-owned sticker on it. It's got the $40 price tag on it. And it is, it's in great shape compared to my old one. So, and I've been playing for a couple months now. It's awesome.
absolutely batshit crazy that a professional golfer, top 70 in the world, is out there with a pre-owned sticker from Golf Galaxy. To me, that's fucking an absolute joke. I mean, I don't know how that's possible, and I love it. I mean, for anyone that's listening that doesn't know Joel Dahmen and just heard that quote and now watches that video tonight, you have to now be like the top common man golfer on tour, like after tonight. It has to be.
I want to find the previous owner of that golf club. That would where I have to get some info from Gino to see if he could dial that one in. But it would be awesome. I'll have to send that guy a nice bottle of wine and a hat maybe for him.
Yeah, a little tip jar.
Yeah, that owner is thinking this club's going to end up in some fucking hack's hands who's going to be playing the munis, who can't break 110, and it's just on tour trying to win tournaments for a 64th rank.
Yeah. I mean, it is like, for whatever reason, like it has like a regular flex in the shafts as well. Like it's off the rack shaft. It's everything.
Come on, dude.
What?
Yeah. So it's the only one that doesn't fit. Like, I play like stiff shafts or extra stiff in the driver, whatever, like most people. And this one, for whatever reason, like it's like a 5.5 and my iron shafts are 6.5s. And I don't know why. I can hit it 210 or I can hit it 230 and it just kind of works for me.
Unreal.
Awesome. That is just, like from the average person, we're subject to that. We're almost forced into that, where it's like, this is the one club that I can have for 9 years and it just, I can use it. But like, you can have any club you want and that's what you're rocking. It's
what's so funny to me, and maybe is what's fucking my brain up the most, is that like us hacks on this podcast are going through fittings and like getting clubs perfectly set to our, like the gram of our foot. Like, I mean, we're talking about like, oh, this shaft is a gram too heavy. I mean, you're out there grabbing shit off racks and just going low. To me, that's like, what am I doing? Sitting here getting fitted with it's very, very funny.
In fairness, it is the only club that is like,
but still
dialed in. But
yeah. What it speaks to the talent level. It speaks to the talent gap that's between us four and Joel. That's the difference, I think.
If you give any tour pro like a driver that doesn't fit them, and like it could take one of your driver, like give them 10 swings on the range, they'll figure out how to hit it somewhat straight. Like they can figure it out to do it. So obviously it won't be perfect, but if the high level players, you can kind of figure out how to use a golf club to get it around.
Do equipment companies like try to lobby you to like create or whip up or whoever you're using to like, no, we can just make a club that's actually here in the present now, like with modern technology? They have to be trying to do that too.
With the high, like Henrik Stenson was known for his 3-wood ride. He had the Rocket 3-wood that was super old and finally cracked on him, I think, this last year. But if it's not like a driver or a putter, like equipment, people don't really care. Obviously, like the driver's a big one. And so no one really bothers me about I've tried other hybrids. But nothing has worked quite like that one. So my par 5 scoring last year, went from like top 50 on tour the previous year to this last year. I dropped down to like 150 because I couldn't get a hybrid that worked, for that, like kind of going for, 230 to 250 club. And so I dropped completely down. And then this fall with the new club back in play, I'm back in the top 50 on par 5 scoring.
That's phenomenal.
That $40 club is worth millions of dollars.
That is $1 million swing. Okay, it has to.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's where you make your hay. It's par 5.
Exactly.
That's something. Whoop, baby. So I talked about Whoop already. I've been monitoring the hell out of it all last 2 days because I'm a little sick. I'm a little under the weather. Thank God for Whoop. I mean, this thing, it's just so, I will say, it's very comforting to be able to look and actually just see what your body's doing and what's going on. They've also, in a big move, Whoop announced a multi-year partnership becoming the official fitness wearable of the PGA Tour and the PGA Tour champions. Now, you've seen him working with JT, with Rory, with all kinds of athletes on the PGA Tour. You remember the Bill Haas story where he went and got tested because he saw irregularities on his with his Whoop. So yes, this wearable, it's great for fitness, it's great for sleep, it's great for recovery. But guess what? It's also great as an indicator of if you may have or if you may have COVID, you may have some sort of issue going on. We've been obsessed with it. We're in like a group. You look at people's recovery. It hates alcohol, which is good. It's a good thing that you ultimately know that, Whoop is going to tell you and is going to allow you the information to say, hey, what you think might be fine is actually just horrible for you and your body.
Dude, yesterday, I forgot to tell you guys, I meant to. After we took that red eye back from the West Coast, I didn't sleep on the red eye. I can't sleep on planes. I just don't have the ability to, so I didn't sleep at all. I got home, I slept for a few hours, and I woke up 5%. 5.
Whoa.
Yesterday I didn't feel like myself. I felt like a zombie. But Whoop let me know. It was like, you are on the verge of just being completely exhausted. And it was, I knew I felt like 5%, but it felt good to have it confirmed that I was 5%.
Jesus, 5% is not great.
No.
My numbers have been all over the place just because like no sleep, traveling around. It's been crazy, man. But yeah, I was at 4% on last Friday because I drank a bunch of wine. And I woke up with it was bad. I went from 75% to 4%, 78% to 16%. So it was every other day I was drinking. And it is funny that alcohol does the same thing to your body technically as like COVID, which I'm not going to like slander alcohol companies, but like, it is funny, like what it kind of does. Like your body has to work overtime and like to fight off this thing that's entered its body that makes you like feel good, which it's weird that, you don't think about that until you get Whoop.
And look, I'm not going to, right? Like I'm still going to drink because I like to drink. It's very fun. But I just know now that it's harder for me to recover. I just know.
You're not going to be booking any fucking marathons right after you have a wine night because your Whoop's going to tell you you're probably going to die halfway through that thing.
That's right. Your recovery is pathetic, sir, and you will not make it through because you have to put a lot of strain on your body. And luckily, Whoop measures all that. You go to whoop.com, get yourself involved, get on the plan, get a Whoop band. You're going to like it. And again, they have announced an official partnership, multi-year partnership, becoming the official wearable of the PGA Tour and PGA Tour champion. So big thanks to Whoop. I got to ask, so one of the biggest things that comes up when people look up Joel Dahmen, I got to ask what your current relationship is with Sung Kang.
It is amazing how the golf world doesn't like the C word. They don't like calling people cheaters. That's a no-no. Deservedly so, yeah. I mean, he did it to himself, and I just let the world know about it. So it kind of propelled me. I was just second year on tour as kind of a nobody, but the next week I had a lot of guys coming up to me. I had major champions, veterans, pretty much everybody was, hey, that's really hard to do. Thanks for standing up for the game and protecting the field. And
right.
Since then, like you hear more about it in the locker room, like, hey, yeah, I actually said you can't drop there. Or like, it's one of the hardest things in golf is like, where did the ball cross the hazard? Right. Like if it's out of bounds, it's out of bounds. That's easy. But is it drawing? Is it fading? Did it actually cross? Like, that's a really hard one. And, you try to do the best you can with you and your group to figure out, what's the most fair thing. And I mean, with the physics and the way his ball was flying and how it worked out, I mean, there was no chance, and I had to make my stand.
So I've heard you speak about this a little bit. For anybody who doesn't know, give them the quick gist, and then I kind of want to put my 2 cents in. But
Sure.
Give them the quick rundown of what happened.
Yeah, so it was Sunday in DC at TBC Avenel. We're both playing pretty well, and 10th hole's a par 5. He goes straight out and it goes basically almost 90 degrees left, and it's all over water. Most of it, and then the last 20 yards is obviously like the green and the run-up area. But he went for the green in 2. He pulled it a bit, and it bounced up by the green. There's a spotter right next to it. The spotter said it landed right here. It didn't cross the hazard line up by the green. When we walked up, it's about 230 yards out. So when I walked up there, like you could tell the way that like it was like on a mountain, or I shouldn't say a mountain, but like a little hill. So if it kicked on towards the green, if it landed on the red line, it would kick towards the green. If it didn't, it would kick in the hazard where it did. So multiple spotters up there said it didn't cross. He wanted to drop by the green. I didn't want him to drop up there, obviously. I said, you got to go back and hit it. typically it takes a couple minutes to figure it out. This one took 25 minutes. We had Ben Crane and Ryan Palmer play through us. And then finally rules official came over and was like, you guys got to figure it out. I'm like, I made my decision, like, whatever. So he ended up, the rules official, like, we can't do anything about it. He can do whatever he wants, basically. He dropped by the green, he chipped it on, made his par, and ended up finishing third that week. So somebody asked me on Twitter what happened on the 10th hole, and I told them that Kang took an illegal drop. And then I woke up the next morning and the world blew up.
You had notifications.
Yeah.
Well, you did tweet Kang cheated. He took a bad drop from a hazard. I argued until I was blue. I lost. But what I was amazed by, like, obviously you did the right thing. There's a reason all the major champions, everybody on tour is coming up to you, being like, yeah. And I heard you make a great point, which was that, like, look, if you said, we all play golf all the time. Obviously, we're playing every week, and not everybody's on TV all the time. And, like, this shit does happen. But, like, if it's the difference between somebody finishing 54th and, like, 59th, it's not as big of a deal. It's like a $8,000, whatever. It's, like, not good, but it's less of a whatever. Whereas this one, like you said, it's like hundreds of thousands of dollars of difference that he actually then cost the people, that end up finishing behind him by a stroke or two that would have never, like, that by just taking an illegal drop. And what's amazing to me is, like, if someone ever comes up to you and says, like, no, that's not, like, you're always like, oh, okay, totally. And you err on the side of just making sure you don't violate any rules.
Right. Absolutely. Well, that's the deal. And you get a lot of times maybe it's off a drive, right? And they're like, oh, it could be here. It could be here. It's like 10 yards difference. Maybe it doesn't matter a ton. This was like 230-yard difference. Like, you have to basically go replay the shot again. And that, like, if it's 10 yards here or there, like, that's like, who really knows, right? We don't have like an overhead drone that tells us what the ball is. So that's fine. But this one was just egregious and was just too much. And like you said, like, yeah, is it ever good? But are you more lenient? Probably when it's, the guy's in 65th place and it's like within 10 yards, fine. Like, but also to your point, you always ask your playing partner, hey, is this drop okay? And if he's like, hey, I think it was back 10 yards, you just go back 10 yards. Like, yeah. There's no question about it. It's a group consistent. If you go with, like, the least favorable to you that the group decides, that's just how it works.
Right.
I even always thought that it was almost like you're playing competitors, almost decision, like final decision.
Yeah.
I didn't think that it was the current player who hit the bad shot could almost reward, like, with the area of drop. Like, I thought it was more almost in tennis where if you hit a shot and it's close, it's on the line or out, the competitor actually gets to make the call whether it's in and out. Like, sure. And I thought it was similar to that vein of, well, you hit the bad shot. I'm saying, in fairness, like, no, it was back there based on where it's crossed, and that individual who hit the bad shot has to just take that penalty. So I'm kind of amazed that he was even able to be like, no, I'm going to drop up here. You're arguing, you're letting people play through. And it's like, well, my hands are tied because I don't have any proof of that. I'm not being a jackass. Like, this is my take on it. This is my honest take. You hit a bad shot. Like, I'm sorry, but you're back there.
Right.
And especially if other people, the rules officials, are saying, well, we didn't see a cross up here. Like, what are we doing here? It's like, I don't know, 5 versus 1. That's crazy that was allowed.
And that's where the rules of golf kind of let like a guy in my position, it let me down. And the rules official, his hands are tied because he didn't see, like, he's 2 holes away when we radio him to come over.
Right.
Like, and it's like, hey, this comes down to your word versus his word. And if he basically can drop wherever he wants as long as he's willing to do it, I guess. So golf sucks, I guess, in that part, because it doesn't help me and it doesn't help anybody. So my last words were, if you can sleep at night, then go ahead and drop it.
That's what you said. That
was my last parting words from about 50 yards away.
This feels like the Maury show now, where we're like, and our next guest to bring in the room is Sung Kang, and then just have you guys like battle it out.
That is a dagger of a comment to finish it off with him. Like, that hurts.
Yeah. Yeah. And everyone's like, hell, do you guys talk now? Like, whatever. I'm like, well, we never talked before. So, like, nothing's ever changed. Yeah. I didn't acknowledge. I mean, we didn't acknowledge each other like half the tour. You know, you don't know anybody. It's not like you're gonna strike up a random conversation. So it's fine. I mean, he's a good player. He won last year. Like, there's no doubt that he's good at golf, but he might have a little blemish for a while.
Yeah. I love this. If you can sleep at night with that drop, it hurts.
I like that you're willing to like step into confrontation. I wonder what you would have done on my plane the other day when this lady brought a dog and stuck her dog right under my foot and then told me to get to the back of the plane if I didn't like it. And I went to the back of the plane like a little bitch boy and just sat there.
I would have done the same, probably. Not a fan of confrontation. Like, if there's a solution like that, like, all right, I'll just get up and leave. But maybe if I had a couple drinks in the airport bar before boarding the plane, and it depends what type of dog it was.
Joel,
It was an Aussie Doodle. It was a huge dog.
This lady.
Right. I would have just sat there and hung out with the dog for however long the flight was.
Dude, it was all right. Now I got to tell a story.
Frankie,
Even though
that's one of the takeaways. Frankie hates dogs.
Go ahead.
by the way, guys, did you see the fucking American Airlines has banned, like, as we released that podcast, they've banned emotional support dogs on their planes?
Saw that.
What a fucking joke. So I'm sitting on this. We're cross country flight, New York to San Diego, and I'm already tired. It's a late day. It was on the weekend. It was on Sunday. I had a long weekend. Sitting on this flight, I upgraded from the back of the plane to like an even more space seat on an aisle because I knew it was gonna be a packed flight. I wanted nothing next to me. Whole flight gets filled, and the seat next to me is open. This lady comes walking in with this fucking Aussie Doodle, huge dog, massive dog, and just goes, "Excuse me, I'm just right there." And I'm like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me, no way!" And I like dogs, dude. Like, dogs are awesome. And all the listeners are hearing this for the second time, but I have to tell you. And the dog sits next to me, and she lets the dog go in my space. Like, the dog is on her right, never in the middle, just on the right, not in between her legs, just on my side, in between my legs. I now have my feet up on the seat. And she actually says to me word for word, "You wouldn't mind," after she realizes that it's a problem, like the dog's not moving, I'm not moving. She goes, "You wouldn't mind switching with my boyfriend, right? Like, he's at somewhere else on the plane." I was like, "Well, I almost said, like, you've given me no fucking choice. Like, what else am I supposed to do for the next 6 hours? Like, just sit up? Like, I just like upgraded. I just spent like $170 to sit here. This is insane." So I get up, and the fucking boyfriend's in a middle seat, in a worse seat than that was. So I just upgraded in the seat basically that I just paid from.
Well, now if I'm going back to a middle seat, I would have raised hell.
Exactly.
That's like, yeah, I would have done something to make sure I wasn't in a middle seat for sure.
Oh, it was a nightmare, dude. An absolute nightmare. I've gotten so many tweets since that podcast came out being like, "Man, like, no chance do I succumb to that." Like honestly, like, I'd rather get, like, people were saying I'd rather get like dragged off that plane than like just, I mean, she got everything she wanted. Like, they didn't pay for extra. Like, the boyfriend was in the back of the plane. They didn't like get too expensive seats. Now he's up there for free. It was a nightmare. Like, they just, yeah, you know, it was their plane. I was living in it.
I'm convinced that she threw a treat over by your seat, and the dog just went over there, and that's why he was over there.
Dude, you know what I thought? You know what I was thinking? How come she didn't fucking go back to whoever that schmuck was sitting next to her boyfriend? Yeah. Why was I like, go to that other seat, right? Like, go sit next to, like, have that guy. That's the best solution for everyone. The dude in the back of the plane now gets to sit in a better seat with even more space because you brought this problem on the plane. So you go back there and you fucking sit next to your boyfriend next to the bathroom.
I'm glad. You're so triggered. This is awesome.
Amazing. Well, Frankie also thinks that,
you know the answer.
Frankie thinks that, like, they had a plan where they upgraded one seat, brought the dog on. Like, maybe even Frankie even thinks so much that, like, they saw, like, "Oh, there's little baby Frankie. Like, we'll take that kid." And we see that he's in 9A. So let's buy 10B or 9B and sit right next to him with the dog, attack Frankie in every way possible, upgrade one seat, and then he'll move for sure. And we'll get one seat for free. He thinks it's so detailed. It's that detailed.
Well, Frankie, if you had a skin in your face, maybe people wouldn't be attacking you on planes like.
Listen, man, I don't know what's happening. It's really it's been fucking quarantine, but I've noticed a real change even in the last couple of weeks since, like, we saw you. Like, I feel like that Arizona trip, like I ate like absolute shit on the way home. I ate like shit. And then this last couple of weeks, I've really been crushing the prosciutto and Italian meats. And it's just sitting in one spot right now. So, I mean, it's sad that we've had these pros come on this podcast, and it started with Bryson DeChambeau being like, well, Frankie, maybe if I hit my wedges, if you hit your wedges better. And now it's switched to, well, Frankie, maybe if you had a skinnier face. So 4 years have gone by, however how long it's been, and I just haven't improved on anything.
I've definitely put on some LBs in the face. It's really scary when you look back 3 or 4 years ago and you like a picture with me and my wife, and I'm like, whoa, I don't feel that bad, but I definitely look worse.
Dude, there's a picture of when I like interviewed for Barstool like 4.5, 5 years ago, and I'm wearing this, like, I don't know why I was wearing a lei. I think Caleb Presley was giving out leis.
It was Hawaiian Fridays.
Hawaiian Friday, and I was just sitting there with a nice collared shirt on, and I am 100 pounds. It's like I'm as thin as anything. And now you look at me and I'm probably like 120 pounds, but the 20 of it is just drooping fat around all of the worst places you could possibly think of.
Great. There's a new neck workout you can do to really help the double chin and the cheeks and everything. It's good.
What is it?
You just keep fast like this for a long time.
There's no way, dude.
That's not an approved workout. Just end with a concussion.
That's just whiplash. I mean, that's just like they actually say not to do that at all. Oh man!
Do it for 10 minutes a day, Frankie. You lose a pound a day.
Just sitting there on the train, like everyone's gonna be like, "What the fuck's going on over here?"
I guarantee you do that when you get on a plane. No one's gonna sit next to you.
True.
You do that.
When I'm listening to like Slipknot.
You do that, you'll lose enough brain cells where you won't care about being fat anymore.
True. True. Oh, that's pretty good.
Joel, when you playing again?
I'm gonna start in Palm Springs. I'm not gonna go to Sony this year. It seems like a long ways to go. Quarantine, the lockdown. They don't really want you like even going to the beach and stuff in Hawaii. So Palm Springs easy to drive to. You know, it's 4 hours from here, and then I just go to San Diego and I drive back here to Phoenix. So hop in and it's nice. I like to drive. You know, as much as we fly, it's kind of nice just to pile everything in the car, like. And then you're done with the 2 weeks. You're like, I can't believe I just took all this crap. But like, it's nice to, I mean, you know, throw a cooler in the back. Why? Because I don't know. That's what your dad did growing up. So that's what you do now, kind of a thing. Yeah, just pile in the car and drive over. So that'll be nice. I haven't played Palm Springs in a couple of years, but it's the same grass as here in Phoenix area, the overseed. It's perfect weather most of the time. And golf courses are obviously pretty easy. You have to go low out there, but it's a good spot to start the year.
Yeah, I'm always interested in how much you guys focus on or think about the grass when you're choosing where to play. I think a lot of like the average fan wouldn't even think about that. You know, but like when I I have COVID, so I'm coughing a little bit. But when I have like Kisner, for example, like doesn't go out west.
I don't know why I laughed. I'm sorry.
He just doesn't go out west because he hates like the grass out west.
Right.
So it's interesting that certain grass features into your guys' choice to play in a tournament.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of the data out there now. You have the 15th club, or you got, you know, whoever you want to say. There's 10 plus people out there now doing stats on everything, and you can see like your putting differences. I think if you do like daily fantasy stuff, you know, you can see the rankings of if on Bermuda or Poe or Bent or whatever it is. So me being a Northwest guy growing up on mostly Poe and bent grass, like that's what West Coast is, right? So that's what I prefer. And my stat, you know, I'm far better off those grasses. And so where Kiz grew up in the South, and, you know, he's a Bermuda guy through and through, and that's what he's good at. So you see that a lot. But there's also there's another one where if you get enough years in, so this is starting my 5th year out here, I've played almost every tournament. You can see like what are your best events? Like, how does the course stack up for you? Whether it's a long course, short course, you know, whatever the grass is. So for me, preferably shorter and more narrow courses are better for me, but whatever that is. So and for me, as a better you get, or a guy like Kisner, who's in all the WGCs, he's in all the majors. You have to like center your world around those. So now you have those big 8 events, and then he's got, probably 5 or 6 other big ones. You have the players in there. And so you set up your schedule around the big events, and I'm not quite there. I'm like if I have a solid start to this year or I play well this year, then I can start kind of gearing up for longer range stuff of, hey, I really want to play well at the majors this year. I, really want to play well here or there. And you can start kind of setting up your schedule that way.
What's your ramp up to, competing schedule or process or whatever you want to call it? What's that look like?
It's pretty limited probably compared to others, but, next week, my wife and I are going on vacation to Telluride with another couple. So instead of going to Hawaii, we're going to go to the mountains in Telluride. Going to go there for 4 days.
Where the hell is that?
Telluride is like southwest Colorado.
Oh,
yeah.
Honestly, when you said that, I thought another country.
Oh yeah. Well,
Never heard of Telluride?
The question
No.
that was, it was like you were upset at him. You were like,
No,
where the
I
hell
was
is
like,
that?
dude,
It's like,
no,
going on
it sounded
vacation.
it sounded super unique and like exotic. I was like, holy fuck, where the hell is that?
yeah,
Great
it's
ski town.
skiing in the country.
You a big skier?
I grew up doing a little bit of it. I shouldn't ski anymore. I don't want to break a wrist, tear an ACL. So I'm going to be in the bottom, what do you want to call it? The pro shop, clubhouse, the bar. I'll be in the lodge drinking. While my wife.
Spa day.
So that'll be fun. But
Nice.
You don't ski because of your career.
yeah, like I can get down a mountain just fine, but I know as soon as I get up there, I'm going to want to like do what I used to do when I was younger, like let's go to a bigger run. Let's go like chase my wife through the trees. And all of a sudden I hit a tree. And then like, it's just not like I went sledding in Jackson Hole. Like that was pretty fun. I feel like that's safe.
Yeah.
We did snowshoeing. Like I did that. But I mean, for me, I'm out of practice and if it's just not worth it for me to break a wrist or tear an
That's
ACL.
an expensive action.
What's snowshoeing?
Where did you grow up, Frankie?
I'm
Where?
just
Yeah,
a
dude,
New
you
York,
are.
like Long
He's just a
Island. I don't know. I'm
Long
surrounded by
Island bubble.
water.
You know what a snowshoe is, yes?
You have to.
If you had
I'm
to
picturing a boot.
Hold on.
Oh, of course, our outdoorsman has the snowshoe
Yeah.
at his place.
Dude, and I've gone snowboarding before. I've gone to Keystone, Colorado. Like I actually can get down a mountain. I have no idea what snowshoeing is. I'm also like, I just don't know what I'm doing ever.
I gotta ask you, what's the enjoyment with snowshoeing? It looks so difficult.
Well, my wife chose that one. It's like hiking, but in snow. So it's really
Right.
not that much.
Oh, does it have like kind of like almost looks like a tennis rackets underneath?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Oh,
the
I've
old-
seen that then. Yeah. All right.
So it's really nice. So we went into like 3-foot powder basically, but you mostly stay on top of it.
Oh, can you actually slide and glide like in certain parts?
No.
Right, so if you flip it, if you flipped it the other side, yeah. So there's a metal thing to help you like go up the hills.
Oh.
But going down, you can kind of lift your toe up and kind of scoot down like some steeper hills.
That's pretty cool.
But it's basically hiking through the snow, which is reasonably fun if you like hiking and doing active things. I don't, but there's a lot of people that do. So it was fun to do it once, and we were in a cool area in the Grand Tetons there, but not something I have to do again.
He said, "Where are you from?"
Well, you were like Telluride, and then where the hell you going? And then snowshoeing, what the hell is that?
Telluride for sure. I thought was in like I don't know.
Snowshoeing's just too hard of a workout, honestly. If you go far, like,
I had so many layers.
walking is hard. Yeah,
and I was sweating so much. Like it's a real workout.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
like people that cross country ski. I don't get that.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's like,
Or like run on
you
the
can
beach.
actually just go up to the top of the mountain. You can just ski down the like. Why would you ski on a flat part?
Right.
dude, cross country skiing is awesome. So
What?
fun. So not like traditional cross country where you just go straight like this. The skate skiing is incredibly fun, and it's probably the riskiest skiing you can ever do. Like if you go down a hill or something like that and you have to turn, there's no edges, so you have to do this like walk turn thing. And if you can't do that, you're going to hit a tree. You're in a mess of trouble.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So
What is skate?
So cross-country
what are you
skiing,
talking about?
So skate skiing is a different type. It's cross-country skiing, but it's a little bit different. In terms of the skis are a little bit
I'm gonna
different.
hit my
They don't
water
have, like,
bubbler
grip
in my
on-
room, by the way.
They don't have like grip on the bottom. So you're literally on flat locations. You are skating like you're playing ice hockey.
Okay.
Do you follow? So you can it's a hell of a workout and it's really fun. But if you're going up and down hills, it becomes a hell of a workout.
I
Up
kind of
is nearly
visualize what
impossible.
I know what you're talking about with that turn. I've seen that in the Olympics.
I was gonna say they turn in the then they like lay down and then they shoot a couple things and then they keep like going around again.
Yeah.
Perch, you're not talking about those people that ski and they do like a lunge every time they turn. Is that what you're talking about?
A lunge every time.
You know those kinds of skis?
No, lunge every time. No, I don't know that one.
You know what I like in cross country skiing?
Oh no, that's telemarking. When that's downhill telemarking. Skate skiing is the same thing as cross country, but it's just like a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more athletic.
I like when skate skiing is everyone's in the same line, they're all using the same thing, and then one guy like goes off of it to make a move.
Yeah,
that's always like
they're drafting, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Screw you! I'm making my
yes,
home."
Yes,
yeah,
nice. That is a hell of an event. That's what is that called when they shoot? Because when they miss one of the targets, they have to go around this loop for every miss that they do. What is that? It's a great event.
Hours long, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, it's a crazy endurance event.
What's more impressive, that or water polo?
That
good question.
I mean, but if a guy's like attacking you when you have the ball, like that sucks because they basically drown you.
Dude, treading water for like I don't know how long those matches are, but like that's the most impressive athletic feat in all of humanity. Like being able to stay above water, play a sport, and have people like defend you, and like you said, like there's no handles anywhere.
I mean,
they're surviving. It's the only sport in which they are just surviving.
The goalie move, the goalie move where they like nestle to the top and then throw their hands up.
Dude, like at every moment they are just surviving from dying at every second. Like if they just stop playing the sport, they just go to the bottom of the pool.
I can't tell you how much I hate that take, Frankie, but I'll just let it go. There's so much to talk about.
I mean, unpack that. I mean, what don't you like about that take?
He goes unpack that.
Water polo is what'd you say? Is the
most
greatest...
impressive athletic feat in all of humanity.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, come on, Joe. Like think about that. Like think about how hard it is to stay afloat in a pool.
There's a 3-year-old kid who can swim for 5 minutes, and you want a 25-year-old Olympian to like tread water for a while, and you say it's the most incredible feat ever?
Yes. It's something that I can't even wrap my head around. Like,
here's a question that you have to ask, Joel. Frankie, can you swim?
Yes, I could swim. Yeah, I can swim.
I mean, I don't know if you could.
I got buoys around my nipples. I fucking float right to the top. I mean, come on, man.
Wow.
Boy.
Right around my neck. Yeah, now I can't wait for the summer to hit around. I'm just gonna be sitting around with my like a
floaty. He's just
like a floaty. like a beaver when you see him running through the creek, just like my face, just like. Oh man,
boy.
yeah, water polo. I would like some water polo people to slide in my DMs and tell me how hard it is. There's got to be some sort of like metric that shows that I'm correct, that they burn X amount of calories.
That's a big sport in the OC, right?
What?
In the OC, the show, the OC, wasn't that their big sport where all the cool guys played like water polo?
Oh, but it sounds like a cool sport that they play in the OC.
I don't know.
I can't. I couldn't play water polo. I know that, but I also can't fucking ski, shoot things, and then cross country ski some more.
Can't do that either.
But that's like a skill.
Biathlon. The sport is biathlon, and Riggs, you would be horrible at it because it's cross country skiing and shooting all blended into one.
Oh, dude, you got your eyes fixed.
Yep, eyes are fixed. I'll say there's a big difference between skeet shooting and like target shooting.
Oh, I don't know.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's true. No, because
you could be right. I just don't know.
I agree with that, Riggs.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, Joel.
Moving target versus stationary. I agree with that.
Totally.
Joel, what's your biggest hobby?
Watching sports.
Okay.
Grilling. I don't know. Like, I love watching sports, like all sports. It's always been that way, and I like to sit on the couch, pet my dog, and watch sports, I guess. But I have a Traeger and a green egg, and I'm getting more into the grilling aspect and different type of meats out there and different ways to cook them. So that's been kind of fun.
Have you ever dove in? Is it dove in, dived in? What, I always get mixed up on that. Dove in. Have you ever dove into meat Twitter? Because it's a scary place.
I haven't done meat Twitter, but I've started following more like Traeger people or like more meat people on Instagram, I guess. And that's kind of interesting because they like show you how to do it on Instagram. They give you recipes, they tell you some do's and don'ts, and that's kind of fun.
Well, my point too, yeah. But like if you ever tweeted out like, oh, like this is the meat you're cooking that day, you'll get people. Because like we always say there's different types of Twitter. Like golf Twitter is one of the worst Twitters in the world.
Right.
Oddly, drumming Twitter for me in my life has been a nightmare. Yeah. Like I'll put up a clip of me playing the drums and they are dissecting if I'm over. Like they actually set a metronome to it and tweeted out to me that I'm not playing in time. It's a nightmare. And then they're crazy. But then meat Twitter may be the craziest of them all. We've watched our guy Glenny Balls tweet out just him slow cooking something, and they are going crazy. You didn't wrap it the right way. What are you setting it at? Don't lift it up to take a picture. That exposed oxygen it's like you can't win with these people.
I'm glad that I will keep my meat off Twitter then.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good rule, though.
That's a rule to live by. Keep your meat off Twitter.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Really fair.
Yeah, I mean, New Year's Eve, we were supposed to have a couple people over, and it didn't work out. But I still had a 9-pound prime rib that I threw on in a week. But that one came out really good. Homemade bacon. I did that during quarantine. That was fun. Like I ended up smoking it for like 6 hours, but it came out really good.
You a crispy bacon guy, or you like it a little chewy?
Well, I like it if you could get both, right? So you get a really fat side of the bacon that doesn't get, so then one side crisps and the other side's fat. Like that's the
Frankie's looking for an ally on eating burnt ass bacon.
When I go to a place, I say burn it, act like you need to throw it out, leave it on for another second, then bring it to me.
Dude,
that's just horrible.
I also like burnt popcorn, homemade popcorn. Like if the house is smoking and your mom's running around fucking spraying fucking fire extinguisher, I'm like, I calmly walk up to the microwave and I just take it out, put it in my bowl, and I like the charred taste. I don't know. Maybe it says something about me.
Frankie, you described one of your buddies having to like paint that tree.
Yes,
and he's a lunatic because he painted that tree, and the tree.
I haven't told that story here. Hold on.
So you are hold on. You tell it, but you are the same person based on burnt bacon and burnt popcorn. You're the same. You're one and the same.
I know a guy that one of all my buddies, like whatever, they're all in the police force, and one of my friends was trying to join in, and we have this story about there's a psych test which I undoubtedly would fail within minutes, but it basically is like 2 hours long. They ask you all these things like, oh, draw a house, right? So if you draw a house and you put like smoke coming out of the chimney, it's supposed to say something about you. Like all these people, like they have all these ways of like dictating and deciding your personality traits. So one of my buddies, actually they said, draw a tree. And he drew a dead tree with just like crazy amounts of like fucking branches and no leaves on it, just like a tree you would see in the middle like of the dark night in Salem, Massachusetts. Yeah, in a graveyard. And they're just like, you fail. Like where are like the bushy trees? Like where is the bird flying in? Like where's the happiness here? And he's just like how is when you think of tree to draw that tree? It's just a stunning fact.
Like big loop-de-loops and put like like the trunk, and then
that's it.
Good.
The attention to detail with like a dead leaf like falling off. They're just like they actually called more police in to take him out. Like they actually it was a pre-crime, I think they called it.
He's got a darkness inside of him.
Yeah.
That's thing actually.
Yeah, no.
All right, Joel. We probably kept you for long enough.
I mean, I have a lot to do today. I have to take out the trash, and I have to take some extra excess stuff to Goodwill. So big day for me.
Oh, nice guy.
Wow.
I
That's
need to
huge.
get it done in the next 7 hours. How long do you think it's going to take me?
7
Four.
hours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably
7 hours. When you pack for your trip, are you a pre-packer or you pack last second? You pack.
I'd never pack. I'm a scramble packer. I feel like I'm a scramble anything. Like you think at this point, like as much as I travel, like it's be a part of my life and I have a routine down and stuff. No, it's like I still show up at events and like, oh, I didn't bring underwear this trip. Like how the heck does this happen? Like let's say that the flight leaves at 9 a.m. So I got to leave my house at 7. So I wake up at like 6:15 and like 10 minutes, throw all the crap in my bag, shower real quick and leave. And I'm like, well, I forgot my phone charger. I forgot this. I'm like, every week it's something. So you would think that I could like pre-pack a little bit or maybe just leave, like certain things in my suitcase and just always have them there. But that's not.
Still rocking the bucket?
Yeah, the bucket will be around, obviously for mostly sunny weather, which hopefully we have on the West Coast. But I think you'll see the bucket. Yeah.
That's a pretty good career decision for that, to have like your thing, be the bucket guy. I like that.
I really didn't. I wish I was that forward thinking. I wish it was like, I'm going to wear this hat that no one else wears, and then I'm going to play good golf, and then people are going to like me. It didn't really. It was strictly like I wore it all the time here in Scottsdale. Obviously, it's always sunny here, and so if you're out in the sun that much, I was just trying to protect myself a little bit, and I finally got the balls, I guess, or the ball to actually wear it and out on tour. And I wore it with Tiger Woods, and that's what happened. It blew up, and then I figured, I kind of have something here. I should wear the bucket hat. Did
Tiger say anything about your bucket hat?
No, but his other 22,000 people following him certainly did.
Did Tiger say anything to you?
I mean, nice shot a couple times.
Okay.
It's gotta feel good.
Building on something. Yeah, that's not nothing.
Definitely the one. He talked plenty. Like I was asking all the questions, but he was more than willing to chat. So yeah, I mean, it was. Well, I remember walking off the first tee. There's a zoo, people everywhere, and I was like, "This is the world you live in." He goes, "This ain't nothing, bud." I was like, "Okay, never mind."
I just got the chills.
Yeah, me too. Wow.
It was.
Where was it at? What tournament?
At DC. He was hosting that year. TPC Avenel, I think is what that's called. We were both in the 10. He birdied 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row to get one back on Saturday, and the place was going nuts. It was pretty great.
How'd you play? Were you able to keep your composure?
Yeah, I actually did okay. I shot 2 under. I think I shot 69 with him. He shot 68. Vegas line was plus 1.5 for me. So if you took me, I was down 3 to him, and I birdied 17, and he bogeyed 18, and won a lot of money. It was awesome.
That is awesome.
Was it like a goal of yours to try to beat him that day? I mean, it had to be.
Oh, I mean, I think after I got over like the shock and awe of a couple holes, and the first hole, it's like a hybrid or 3-wood, and I'm teeing up driver because I'm so nervous. I want the biggest club I can to make sure this thing gets in the air, and I hit the longest drive of my life, so far way down there, and I had a little wedge in, and I I hit it 40 feet long. I was so jacked up. Settled in kind of after that and did okay.
Is it for someone like you that's whatever, you're not playing in front of that many fucking fans as him? Was it could you imagine doing that every single time you step up to a golf course? Is that something you can get used to or no?
I don't know how you'd ever really get used to it, I guess. I know Rory made a comment. It's a 1-stroke penalty playing with him. I don't know, but more respect for Tiger and more respect for those top guys. They have to do it every single week. And it's I was mentally exhausted for an extended period of time. What you're going, your mind just never shuts off. You don't realize how much the adrenaline is rolling. It's just vibrating through you. So when you finally come down an hour later and you're home on the couch and you're you're just absolutely mentally exhausted. And I can't imagine doing that all the time. But I think it's even more impressive when you play well, because if you're winning majors all the time or winning 5 or 6 times a year like you did, what that does to you is it's indescribable. How the toll it takes on you mentally to do that week after week. It's way harder to be in contention week after week than it is to float around in 40th. So it gave me more appreciation for him and the top guys because they're always playing in front of big fans and they're doing it week after week and they're playing at a high level. So it's harder than people could ever imagine.
Wow.
Did you feel like it almost like forced you to hone in and focus more than typical rounds?
Yeah, I mean, you can't take a play off per se or whatever, you want to call it. Like there's no taking a shot off. It's like all eyes are on you all the time and you don't want to like screw up basically is what it comes down to. Where if I play in front of 3 people on a Thursday morning, like it's easy to kind of like fall, just kind of go through the motions or whatever, not like have the energy going through. So, well, I mean, with that side of it's great. Like it's great to have the fans maybe when you're not playing so well, but at the same time, like it's really nice not to have them all the time.
It's kind of like us when we play with just like when I play with my buddies who stink or I play with my buddies who are really good. I tend to play a lot better with my buddies who are really good because you're playing up to the competition as opposed to like them dragging you down. And like when my buddies who stink are worse than me, it's like bad golf. So like it's a 6-hour round. No one even cares at that point. Like why are we even at it? Let's just go to the bar. But when you play with your buddies, yeah.
No, that's a good point. I know. I mean, maybe for Tiger, like maybe he's kind of immune to it now, but I don't know. At the same time,
he actually said he's been struggling during quarantine. During this whole thing, not having that, right? Or people have said that for him. Saying it's a disadvantage.
Yeah, Rory said it multiple times. He's like, every week feels the same out here. Like the only difference in the major, like at the PGA or the US Open, is like there's just more tents. Like the build out's bigger, like for all the production, but there's not anything different when you're out there on the 7th hole. Like, and maybe there's 2 extra people or something in a major, but it all feels the same. I know Graham McDowell called himself a golf zombie week after week. It's because everything feels kind of the same, and you don't have like when you're playing well on the weekend, like for a guy like me who plays mostly in front of not many people, like it's a reward to play well as you get to play or you get to play with the big guys. Like it's really fun to play with big crowds. Like Torrey Pines has great crowds. Phoenix obviously is one of the biggest and best. Riv is one of the best. And it sucks you're not going to be able to have any of that. And the Florida events have great turnout. So, hopefully we can all kind of get back coming soon. And that's one of the things maybe, I'm not quite ready to go back to golf yet. I'm having a fun time in my little off season here and hanging out and enjoying my White Claws.
Just say it's actually you could use it to your advantage though. Is not like you and Rory are on the same playing ground where he doesn't have that edge over you going into Sunday where he's used to the fucking crowds or whatever. Like you're just like, hey, you're in my territory now. Like this is like that's actually pretty cool. Like
it's way easier for guys trying to win for the first time when there's not people. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point.
Dude, it's weird watching old highlights and just seeing fans go crazy. Like, it's just weird. It's like a world I can't imagine. I'm like, get away from each other. That's dangerous.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I think just after like around the new year, they like ran the final round of every event last year. And so, like watching, I think I tuned in a couple on the West Coast and it was like, oh my God, that was awesome. And like, you think it's like 5 years ago, the way that we've been doing this forever. So,
dude, my phone was giving me like year in review photo, like whatever it was, Snapchat or your photos. And I was like, man, like this year I was at Islander games jumping, like jumping on people at the Coliseum, like literally like I was floating, like crowd surfing. And like a month later, we're not allowed to see anyone. Like it was just, I was like, that was this year. It feels like I was watching like a Maradona clip from like 30 years ago or something. Like it was just craziness in the crowd. I'm like, there's no way that was now. That was 30 years ago. It's impossible.
With Maradona, did he have the hand of God? Is that him?
Yeah. Maradona put asses in the seats maybe more than anyone else in the entire. Have you ever watched that fucking documentary that was on like HBO? I think it was playing on like all the planes. Like at one point, you know how like some things just go through rotation on all the airplanes.
Right.
Watch this fucking documentary. He was bigger than God walking around his home countries. And like when they went to games, what?
Was he from Argentina?
Argentina, yes. And just like everywhere he went, like you walk out, like we all watched The Last Dance with MJ, and every time he walked out of a hotel, it was crazy. But Maradona the country was outside whatever hotel he was at. He couldn't do wrong. It was awesome.
Is that how you say his name?
I really hope so. I've said it 5 or 6 times here.
I thought it was Maradona.
Maradona.
I could be wrong.
Is it Maradona? Is it Maradona? I don't know.
I didn't know who you were talking about, and then I figured it out.
Maradona. I feel like it's Maradona. Man, am I exposing myself?
I'm open to being wrong. I'm probably wrong.
I really only just watched the documentary.
This is what we do, Joel. We just spout shit that's not correct all the time.
It was pretty damn close, like regardless of what it is. It's just that
you might be right. You for all I know, you're right.
Yeah. I didn't mean to nitpick you. I was just asking. I was curious.
You're picking some nits right now.
Okay.
By the way, Lurch did his thing where he DMs the Zoom group that he has to go to his real work job.
I think
Joel's going throughout the trash. We've kept him for too long.
I think I watched Joel read Lurch's message in the Zoom call
as he was talking.
Yes, he was talking about playing with. What's up, Joel?
I haven't read anything, but now my wife's calling.
Oh,
your wife's calling.
Send her a voicemail.
We should probably let you go then.
I think he took the call.
I think he'd probably have to when your wife calls.
Yeah.
Yeah, to all the listeners out there, Lurch did the thing where he thinks that we're on
I'm back.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I'm surprised that technology worked. Usually like it hangs up the other call.
Yeah, I can't believe you figured that out.
Dude, I'm pretty tech savvy, no big deal.
Yeah, that was impressive. We were saying Lurch does this thing where he thinks that we're like ABC News or something and that he can't just say to the show that like, hey, I got to go. And so he sends he sent like a Zoom DM, which he's the only person I've ever met who does that.
He's very like cube life. It's really, really tough to be around. It brings us all down a little bit where he'll be like, hey boys, like gonna ping you later. Like, is that a call? Is that a text? Is it, he said like at one point, like I'm sending a note to this guy. And I was like, what is that? And he's like, oh, a DM on Instagram. Like, that's not considered a note.
No, it's considered
it's just like he talks like in office jargon.
Like, at least Riggs and I, we got into this business to leave that business and not ever talk like that ever again. And then Lurch brought him into the fold, and he's great. I love Lurch, but he says those words, and it takes me right back to sitting in those cubicles and getting those emails that made me want to run out of the building like it was on fire.
At some point he's going to drop TPS reports and we're just going to fucking lose it. The whole place is just going to shut down.
He'll text us and be like, how about we just circle back on this later in the week? And it's like, you know what? Why don't you shut the fuck up and never use that jargon ever again?
We also do this thing where we talk about whoever leaves the podcast early, we just talk shit about them because they can't defend themselves.
Yes.
But we will then tell Lurch that we talk shit about him to his face, which has always been my defense against talking shit. Yeah. I'll let you know I talk shit about you so that now can go back and listen to it.
This is basically to his face, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's sort of like we're kind of like the lunch table in high school. And it's like the minute when you
hundreds of thousands of people listening to us talk shit about someone instead of the 5 people.
Yeah, it's pretty pathetic.
That's a good analogy. I like that one.
Thank you. Okay. I guess we'll let you go. I mean, I tried this already. It didn't work.
Is this where you talk shit about me when I leave?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
When that video comes out on YouTube, are you going to watch it?
I have a viewing party. Everyone's got COVID. I have about 50 people over. Gonna put it all the TV around the house. Yeah. How long?
Man. It's gonna be long. It's gonna be a long. Those usually take, I don't know. I'd say it's over an hour.
Holy cow! Does anybody actually watch it?
Yeah, man, they watch the shit out of it, dude. The kids one has way over 1 million views. I mean, we just did the one with Paige Sporadic. That's at 300,000. Like, I mean, we're gonna be putting them out like crazy. So I think people are eager or no, it's not the word, Frankie. They're let me think about this one. It's they're craving, I guess, they're craving it more. They're craving more 4-man scrambles. What are you making that face, Trent? Anticipating. I don't know. You know.
His face getting real red right now.
No, that's just the saturation. Look, that's my I can whoa. See? It's like a black and white, you know. Or I could do I'm gonna do the joke, Trent. I'm so mad.
This is what we deal with, man.
All right.
This is the podcast. This is the podcast.
It's audio, so none of that even mattered.
We put them on YouTube.
Oh, good place to go subscribe. Joel, subscribe to our YouTube page.
I don't do you have to have a YouTube login?
Yep.
Yeah, it's your Gmail. You have a Gmail or something or some sort of email. Yeah,
All
log in. Hey, maybe join the live chat tomorrow. That's a fun little thing for the people listening. I don't want to pin you down to that, but if you have a minute or something, maybe hop in there.
What time are you releasing it? Why don't you guys?
Boy,
8
that's
p.m.
tough. 8 p.m. Eastern.
That's 6 here. All right, I'll be pretty intoxicated. It could get fun.
That would be fun, yeah. And you could like talk through something. The chat gets lively. People go crazy for the chat. So, yeah, it's like a live viewing party.
You chat on YouTube?
Yeah. So like it's a live viewing. It's a premiere. So like there's a countdown. It's like 10, 9. Everyone goes fucking crazy. We all take our clothes off, and then the video comes on, and the chat goes crazy. So like everything we watch, and it's almost like watching a regular show live. We all chat about it.
That's awesome. Well, I'll shoot me a message tomorrow, and
We'll ping you. We'll ping you tomorrow.
Yeah, or send a note, or maybe we can circle back to that tomorrow afternoon, right?
Okay.
Yep. That's exactly right.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, fellas. Enjoyed it. Have a good day, and we'll chat tomorrow.
Yeah.
Good luck
See ya.
taking the trash out.
Perfect. See you guys.
See ya.